ramifications. These have become a flashpoint that is expected to dominate some parts of the discussion. But Donald Trump putting his stance out there, saying that he's not going to be willing to discuss it. He said he's not going to be willing to sign a joint statement. How important is it that unity is shown and that discussions are had with wider global ramifications evident given the regional instability?
Yeah, I think any political observer, analyst that's interested in the G7 summit would have been staggered had there been a unified statement, a consensus of opinion that satisfied each and every participant of the G7. It's clear, or was clear at the outset, let alone the Trump factor, that it would be nigh impossible for this group to come up with a statement that was completely satisfactory to all concerned. And I'm expecting that, as in most summits like this, they will come up with a statement in the days ahead, but it will be, I would assume, a mealy-mouthed statement that really doesn't get anything further down the road, geopolitically or economically, as most of the participants would hope. Clearly, the Iran-Israel issue is at the forefront of their thinking, and herein lies the big problem. Because as we know, G7 is all about the geo-economy, and Iran could scupper any chances of future growth if they take certain steps regarding trade and shipping, destroying, the shipping routes and blocking the shipping routes, and that would certainly bring in the US and possibly the UK into the conflict. And no one wants a wider conflict, although Iran, being in a position of relative weakness, as we understand that she is at the moment, may have no other option.
Yes, Peter, of course, a developing situation. And Mark Carney opened this summit by saying that we're gathering at a turning point in history. He then goes on to say that at a turning point where the world looks at us for leadership. Do you think that's the case with Israel, their plan and their planned attacks on military and nuclear infrastructure months in the making, geopolitical calls for de-escalation and communication, but Israel's position strong after overwhelming the Iranian military and largely fending off any Iranian attacks? Do you think it's irrelevant whatever the leaders speak about, because Israel will continue with this? As Benjamin Netanyahu said, this operation is potentially going to last weeks.
Joshua, you've absolutely hit the nail on the head. My gut feeling, and the gut feeling of other analysts globally who I'm in touch with virtually every minute of the day, is simply this: we truly believe that Israel is now hell-bent on and focused on regime change in Iran. Now, will she be allowed to achieve her objectives are dependent on two things. Firstly, how supportive Donald Trump would be of the Netanyahu government, and secondly, how capable is Iran in trying to deter the Israeli military objectives. We will certainly know the answers to that in, let's be realistic, 4 or 5 days ahead. But until that time, when Mark Carney says we are a turning point in history, I think he's right, because this could potentially see the end of regime change within Iran, which from an economic perspective, although there'll be clearly issues along the way, but from an economic perspective will clearly benefit in the long term G7. Short term, there will be huge problems, as we all know. But as I say, I think the outcome is dependent on the patience of Mr. Trump and the ability of the Israeli military and conversely the ability of the Iranian military to defend themselves